open page number 408 of your book, Biology Matters. Here we will talk about the biotic environment. Biotic environment basically comprises all the living organisms that an organism interacts within its habitat. I told you people earlier about the habitat, a place where an organism, a plant or an animal live. That place is called its habitat. So if you can have a look of this garden, many different species of the plants are here. So these species are having their habitat, this garden. Okay. The organisms in any habitat are never completely independent. Why they are never completely independent? Because they are within any system, within any ecosystem, these plants are needing the other abiotic factors also, like sunlight, like proper water, proper texture of the soil, the pH level should be balanced, as well as even they are depending upon the other abiotic organisms for their proper survival. How? You can consider the tree. If you are able to just have a look of this tree, this one big tall tree is the habitat of 100 different other animals. How? A very small ant which is living on this tree is being eaten by the spider. The spider is just being eaten by the squirrel. The squirrel is eaten by a mouse. A mouse is eaten by a, you can say, rabbit. Or in the same way, there are many birds which are directly eating the small insects, the small worms which are present here on the mud, or even which are living on the tree. So in this way, we can say that not even a single organism can survive independently. Basically, they are interdependent upon the other living organisms as well as abiotic factors. Okay, what is the ecological community? When different populations of the plants and animals live together and interact with the same environment, they make up an ecological community. What is ecological community in the simple words? We can, in front of you, you are having the example of the ecological community garden. In the same way, we are having other ecological communities such as forests, grasslands, ponds, oceans, and deserts. The various population, what was population? Whenever a single organism is present more than one in its number at a particular place, we call it population. The various, now we are talking about the various populations. Even you are able to see the different populations of the plants here. The various populations in any community live interdependently. Even they are depending upon each other for the sake of their survival. A change in one population affects the other population of the community. For example, if the population of a small crabs living in the mud of a mangrove community decreases, the population of the mud skippers may also decrease because there is a less food for the mud skippers. It's also possible that the mud skippers may begin to feed on more insects and small worms to get enough food. In this case, the population of the insects and small worms may decrease. In reality, the biotic and abiotic factors in an ecosystem interact with each other in a very complicated way. The relative size of different populations remain constant. The biological balance or equilibrium is a web. Breaking a single strand will affect the whole ecosystem. If the population of a single animal living on this tree will be affected, it is having that direct impact on the other organisms also. For example, if all the insects may die which are living on this tree, then from where the bigger animals will get their food? When they will not get their food, definitely they will be unable to survive independently also. So that's why we can say that in biotic environment, the organisms are interdependent upon each other. Now, on the same page 408, we are having a science bites, that is the ecological niche. The function of an organism or the role it's play in its habitat is known as its ecological niche. No two species have the exact same ecological niche in the same environment at the same time. Otherwise, they will compete for resources such as food, water, and living space for survival. For example, birds were introduced into Singapore from India to reduce the insects population. They now compete with the native birds for nesting space. Although they are eating all the extra insects of that place, but now they need a shelter place also to live. So that's why they're competing with the native birds which are already living there. If resources are not sufficient for both species, one species may be forced out of its habitat. If the resources are not enough, so definitely the the species who is good in its survival, it can survive while the other species will be, you can say, either that species will be die or that species will leave that place for the better environment. So this is all about our today's topic, that is the biotic environment.